So welcome back to another flow by myself, Nicole. Today we're only going to need a block. This is not even necessary, but it's there just in case you need it. I'm going to start with having it underneath my hips, just allowing my knees to be lower than my hips, just a little bit more of a comfortable seat. And obviously a mat. The bolster is there just in case you want to even go deeper into relaxation in Shavasana. Otherwise, it's just an extra prop. And with that, let us start by finding a comfortable seat. Invitation to shut down the eyes and go internal. Now, I often, when I film these flows, I think about what is the person going to be experiencing on the other side. And it often occurs to me that in a class, in a yoga class, we have music playing in the background. And so, as an option, I'd like to offer you to maybe play something in the background that speaks to you, a yoga playlist or something else that will allow you to get more into your flow, into your breath, into your emotions. I have a few flows if you search for me on Spotify under, I think it's under Nicole Fizz or Nicole Fiso Fizz. Anyway, you'll find me, and then I've got like an hour flow, yoga hour, 1 hour, something or other. If you search for one of those and you start it pretty much on the time where you sit down on the mat here, it should have a slow building up sequence to music and then something towards the end when we come into yin. If it doesn't quite work for you at the time, feel free to skip it next time and just flow in silence. Otherwise, have your own playlist. Let's get back to seating in a cross-legged seat on your mat, possibly on a block with our eyes closed. I'm just going to invite a little bit of a pranayama to bring ourselves a little bit more here and into our body, into our physical body. So we're going to start off by just releasing the breath as you have it in your chest, in your belly, shoulders, head, wherever you have it. And then taking a deep breath in through the nose for the count of 4. 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top here for 4. 3, 2, 1. And then slowly start to release the breath for 4. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4. 3, 2, 1. Start to breathe in. 4. Hold at the top for 4. And start to release for 4. And then coming back to your normal breath, so releasing control over the breath, just allowing it to flow in and out. However, with a little bit of a caveat, and that is to try and draw the breath all the way down into the belly as you breathe in, maybe even feel it expand, and take it all the way up towards the shoulders, into the chest. And then as you let go of the breath, feel a little bit of a sagging, a little bit of a relaxing of the body. And just continuing that for another 2 or 3 breaths, making the breath a tiny bit deeper than it normally would be. And upon finishing your last breath, we're going to start with the shoulders. So you can keep your eyes closed if that feels comfortable and just follow my voice. Otherwise, it's just starting to blink open the eyes or have a soft gaze and taking the shoulders in little circles, moving them initially forwards. So keeping the hands onto the knees or the thighs and creating little circles with the shoulders forwards. Make those circles really big, shoulders all the way into the ears. Change direction, go the other way, so we're moving the shoulders back. And once you hit another rotation with the shoulders all the way up towards the ears, just pause here. Not with the breath, just keep breathing normally. And release the shoulders down. And maybe feeling a little bit more of a comfortable seat. I like to say the word comfortability. My wife keeps telling me that's not quite a word. I'm making it into a word. Using your breath this time, we're going to take a breath in and bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And now we're going to hold it here. So hold the breath. Hold. Hold. And as you release the shoulders, let the breath out. Once more like that. As you breathe in, bring the shoulders in towards the ears. Hold at the top. Hold. Hold. And release the shoulders down. Breathe out. And then starting with the arms, bring them up towards the ceiling. Breath in. And as you exhale, bring the right hand down. Take the left hand over. Allow a breath in to take both arms back up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring the left down and the right over. Take both hands up to the ceiling. And then coming over our knees, we're going to now open the eyes if not already, removing the aids. So remove your block out of the way. And come to all fours initially. Bring the tops of the feet down. And going to spread the knees just wider than hip width, so not coming to the edges of the mat. And then bring the hips down towards the heels, walking the hands back. Take an inhale as you take the hands back up to the ceiling. Once again, take the right hand down, take the left over. And this time, as you inhale, stretch a bit more towards that right hand side. And with your exhale, draw the left hand down, walk the hands over towards center. Bring the hips up tabletop, keep the knees where they are, and take a breath in, bring your gaze up. As you exhale, tuck everything in, bring the hips down and walk the hands over to the left hand side. Left hand plants, take the right hand up as you breathe in. Open the chest, and as you exhale, draw that hand once again to the mat, walk them to the center. Lift the hips tabletop, breathe in, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, tuck everything in, walk the hands over to the right. So making it a nice flow with breath, taking the left arm up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, draw it down, come back to center. Inhale, bring the chest up, gaze. Exhale, tuck everything in, walk over to the left-hand side. Inhale, lift that right arm. And as you exhale, draw it back down to the mat, walk back to center. Inhale here. As you exhale, tuck everything in, but this time we're taking the left foot out so it's perpendicular to the mat and taking the right foot out to the side, coming to the blade of the foot. Start to breathe in and bring your gaze back up to the ceiling. Tuck everything in as you exhale. Inhale, open. This time as you exhale, walk the hands over to that right shin. Place the right hand on the right shin and take the left hand up to the ceiling. As you exhale, draw that left hand down, walk the hands back to center. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck everything and walk the hands over to the left hand side. Right hand lifts, inhale, push the hips forward, maybe fingertips of the left hand. And as you exhale, draw the right hand down, walk back to center. Breath in. Exhale, tuck everything in. Inhale once more. And bring that right leg back into tabletop. Now draw the knees in once again so they're about hip width apart. Move them from side to side, just releasing any tension there. And then take the right leg, stretch it out to the back. The left toes are tucked. The right toes are pointing down to the ground. And pause here, pushing through both hands into the mat. Pause for another 2, 1. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're tucking that right knee into the chest. So see if you can draw it all the way in. If you can get quite close enough, maybe give it a kiss. I can't. Take it back to the back of the room as you inhale. And as you exhale, take that knee to the right elbow. Just touch. Inhale, take it all the way back. Pause here and then start to bend through that right knee. If you can, start to lift off that left hand and reach for the back foot. Grab the ankle. If the ankle isn't available, you can always just reach for it and pause. If you have the ankle, start to open out that left shoulder, making sure that the right knee is nice and high. Pause for 2. For 1, release, don't let it slingshot. Place the left hand down and the right foot steps all the way to the top, to the outside of the right foot. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, half Hanuman, taking that stretch of that right hamstring, stretching through or straightening through that right leg. Pausing here for the in, pausing for the out. And then slowly starting to bring your bend into that right knee and take that right knee back, tabletop. Just move the hips once again, left, right. Just a bit of a reset, a little bit of a commercial break. And breath in, bring the gaze up. As you breathe out and tuck everything, we're taking that left leg and stretching it out to the left-hand side. Come to the blade of that left foot. Breath in, gaze up. Tuck everything in as you exhale and walk the hands over to that left shin. Left hand on left shin. Take the right hand up as you inhale. And as you exhale, draw it all the way back down. Bring the hands back to center. Inhale here. And as you exhale, tuck everything in. Inhale, open. And as you exhale, tuck everything in and draw that right foot back. Knee comes down, tabletop. Just move the hips once again to reset. And then taking that left leg, stretching it out to the back. Toes are pointing down. Leg is kicking the back of the room, see, with the heel. And you're finding a little bit of balance, just pausing, pushing through both hands. Finishing the last second exhale, we're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, draw that left knee into the chest, all the way in. And again, like the other side, kiss it if you can. Inhale as you stretch it back. Take it to the left elbow, exhale. Inhale, stretch it back to the back of the room. And as you exhale, we're going to bend through that knee and reach back with the right hand, grabbing that right ankle and possibly opening out that right shoulder as we find stability through that left hand and right knee. Don't slingshot the foot as you let go. Place the right hand down and step that left foot all the way to the top, to the outside of that left hand. Just a bit of movement here. The hips, just lubricating the hips. And as you inhale, take both hands up to the ceiling. And move or straighten through that left leg as you exhale. Pausing here, see if you can start to engage that left foot up towards the ceiling. So flex the foot in towards you. Start to bend through that knee. Place both hands down and step that left foot back, tabletop. Just like we get once again, moving the hips left to right. And come back to center and start to create circles with the shoulders moving in one direction. So we're planting the hands flat on the floor and we're feeling into all parts of the hand as they make contact with the mat. Trying to really push through that first knuckle because that's where the hands tend to lift. We tend to put most of the weight onto the heels and the edges of the hands, but we want to try and push through the thumb and the first finger so that we get a little bit of balance there. And move the other way. And pause once again in center, tuck your toes, and we're going to push through the mat with the hands and lift the knees just off the mat. Can you pause here? Take the knees over all the way to the edges of the mat, just touch the edge, and once again lift and bring them back to center. Take them all the way to the edge, touch, once again bring them back, center. Once more like that, all the way to the edge, touch, but we're going to drop them here, bring the tops of the feet down, toes together, and then slowly draw ourselves down to our child's pose. Find that this is, or set this, should I say, as home. And it is available anytime throughout the practice to come back to. Start to gently lift the elbows off the floor and come onto the pads of the fingers. Just finding a little bit of length in the arms so that the shoulders have got space to move a little bit lower. And then starting to walk the hands over to the right hand side. Just come off the mat. So that the right hand doesn't feel lonely, we're going to interlace the left on top of it. Make sure you're drawing that left shoulder down. Pause for the breath. Release the interlace. Walk the hands back through center over to the left hand side. And again, we don't want the left hand to feel lonely, so we're going to interlace the right on top. Just watching the right shoulder doesn't lift. Release the interlace. Walk the hands back to center and lift yourself up. Find tabletop, drawing the knees back once again to hip width apart. Allow a breath in to find an upcat. And as you exhale, tuck everything in. Inhale, walk the hands slightly forward, find your upcat once again. And as you exhale, this time with the toes tucked, lift the hips, find a downward dog. In your downward dog, feel free to pedal the feet. Just moving them maybe one at a time, hips from side to side. Just finding a little bit of lubrication here. If it's the first time you've practiced today, just spend some time feeling into this posture. I'm going to give you the opportunity to come to a stationary downward dog once you have felt through it. As we try and give an analogy of once you've picked up all the dog poo, you've walked your dog, start to find a stationary, calm downward dog. Pausing here for 2. Pausing for 1. Come high onto the toes, lifting the heels on the breath in. Release the heels on the breath out. High onto the toes, breath in. Release the heels, breath out. High onto the toes, breath in, and lift the right foot just off the floor. We're going to hop with the left foot, little hops all the way to the top of the mat. Once you reach the top, release the right foot down, crawl the hands up the shins and take a breath in halfway. And find a forward fold as you exhale. Take the hands all the way up to the ceiling, breath in. Allow the palms to meet at the top and then draw them down to the heart center as you exhale. Inhale, take the arms up. Find a forward fold, exhale. Hands to shins, breathe in. Breathe out, placing the hands down, stepping the right foot back into a lunge and drop the right knee down. Crawl both hands all the way up, Anjaneyasana. And as you exhale, place both hands down. We're going to keep the right hand planted and take the left up to the ceiling, breath in. As you exhale, pause there. We're staying for another in and another out. Inhale, can you open up a little bit more? And exhale, draw that left hand down to the inside of that of the left foot. Take the right up to the ceiling, breath in. And straight back down as you exhale. Take the left hand onto the outside of the left foot. Step it back to tabletop of the breath in. And then start to bend through the elbows, finding chaturanga on the knees. Push back up to tabletop in. And as you exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Heels lift on the breath in. Release the heels on the breath out. Heels lift, breath in. Release, breath out. In with the heels lifting. And take the left foot just off the floor, and we're going to hop on the right all the way up to the top of the mat. Take your time here. You don't have to go in really quick pace. Drop the left foot down at the top. Crawl the hands up the shins halfway. Breath in. Release. All the way to the ceiling with the hands. Palms meet, heart center as you exhale. Inhale, take the hands up. Find a forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift in. The hands placed on the floor. Come onto the tippy toes. Bring the weight forward slightly on the shoulders. And then hopping both feet all the way back to a downward dog. Take a breath in as you move the shoulders forward, keeping the hips nice and low. Plank. And then drop through the knees. Come all the way down to the belly with the exhale. Make sure you don't have any aids in the way, like I do. Bring the tops of the feet down. Hands are just underneath the shoulders by the ribs. Take a breath in as you lift and peel the chest up, baby cobra. Breath out, release. Let's try that once again, but maybe taking the feet just off the floor. And release, breath out. Let's try that again, taking the feet and the knees off the floor. Breath in. And breath out. If you want to challenge yourself, let's repeat that, but this time adding the no hands. Breath in. And breath out, release. Tuck the toes, come onto the knees, breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the hips, downward dog. Taking a breath in, taking the heels high, and release. Heels come high, and release. Heels come high, we're lifting the left foot just off the floor, hopping on the right all the way to the top of the mat. Drop the left foot down, halfway lift in. Release, breath out. Take the hands all the way to the ceiling, breath in. And this time, grab your right wrist with your left hand, take your right foot behind the left foot and bend to the left. Take an inhale, take both hands up. Taking a bend to the right hand side, left foot goes behind right. And inhale, come back to center, release. Find a forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift in. Hands come down, come high onto the toes. Shift your weight forward. And can you make it a little bit lighter? Hopping back to downward dog. Come high into the toes, breath in. Release, breath out. High into the toes, breath in. Release. High into the toes, taking the right foot up to the ceiling. Take that right knee to right elbow and just touch. Say good morning or good evening. Take it back up to the ceiling, breath in. And as you exhale, step it through. Place it next to the right thumb. Take both hands up. Find your crescent lunge on the breath in. Both hands reach down to the floor, framing that right foot, breath out. Right hand reaches to the ceiling, breath in. And straight back down to the inside of that right foot on the breath out. Drop the left heel down and take the left hand up to the ceiling, breath in. And as you breathe out, bring it straight back down again. Once again, open up, left hand reaches for the ceiling. I might have caught some of you there. And take a breath out and take it, swing it into the back, take it into a circle. And as you breathe in, it comes up forward, push through that right foot, and find your warrior two. So here in a new position, let's pause, let's find it, let's settle. Just watch that right knee doesn't go over the right ankle, so keep it nice and stable. Make sure it's not folding in either. Pause. Now I like to make sure that we're all healthy yogis. So we're going to reach forward towards the front, grab an apple, because that's healthy, right? Take it and throw it over the shoulder, find a reverse. And then windmill the hands all the way down, frame that right foot, left heel lifts. Take a step forward, halfway lift to the top of the mat. Release on the breath out. Take a breath in, reach all the way to the ceiling with the breath in, and palms meet heart center. In as you reach for the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're going to take the right foot behind the left, bend to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Grab the left wrist, left foot behind the right, bend to the right. Keep the feet where they are. Inhale as you straighten through the arms and find a forward fold as you exhale. So the feet are twisted or over each other. Halfway lift here. And as you exhale, fold forward but come onto the tippy toes, lifting the heels off the floor. Then start to walk the hands over to the left-hand side and find that we are untwisting so that the feet are now next to each other. And just walk the hands forward, finding a plank. Pause in your plank and really push through the mat, allowing the scapula to come apart so the shoulders become more wide. And we are pushing the spine up towards the ceiling. Pause just for 2. For 1. Now for the count of 5, we're going to slowly lower all the way down. Now some of you may know I have a French wife, Wendy, so I'm going to try and practice some of my French to the count of 5 going down. So 5, start to bend through the elbows. 4, come a little bit lower. 3, and 2, and and releasing all the way down to lie flat on the floor. Bring the tops of the feet down. Baby cobra with no feet, no knees, and no hands. Breath in. And exhale, release. Let's try that again because some of you may have missed that. Inhale, taking a breath in. Inhale, taking a baby cobra with no hands, no feet, and no knees. And release. And just for kicks and giggles, we're going to lift it once more. Breath in. And release everything down. Tuck the toes, come onto the knees, and lift the hips as you exhale, downward dog. Come high onto the toes, breath in. Release the heels, breath out. High onto the toes, breath in. Release, breath out. High onto the toes, lifting the left foot up to the ceiling. Visit the left elbow with the knee on the exhale. Inhale, take it back up again. And exhale, step it through. Push through the left foot, find crescent on the inhale. And the hands come straight back down on the exhale. Frame that left foot. Keep the right hand planted, touch twist, take the left hand up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring it to the inside of that left foot. So drop the right heel down and open up that right arm up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, draw it back down again once to the mat. Inhale once again, lift it up to the ceiling, open, and then circle the arm back. And as you come forward, take an inhale, pushing through that left foot, and find warrior two. Pause here for two. For one, we can continue to be healthy and reach for the front, grab and banana, take it over, throw it behind the shoulder. I like to imagine putting into a backpack behind me, and then draw the arms windmilling all the way down, framing that left foot. Step forward to the top of the mat, halfway lift, and release on the exhale. The hands reach for the ceiling, so push through the ground, reach, become tall, bring the palms together, heart center, exhale. Inhale, take the arms up, bend from the hips, come down to a forward fold, reaching for the ground. We're going to toe heel the feet out to about hip width apart. Come to the edges of the mat and then draw the feet out 45 degrees. Drop the hips and find your yogic squat, Malasana. So you should be at the top of the mat facing forward. I'm just going to face you so that you got an idea of what I'm doing. We've got an option to stay here. Otherwise, dropping your right hand, take an inhale as you take the left hand up to the ceiling. Bring it back down on the exhale. We're going to swap hands. Drop the left, take the right up. And as you exhale, draw it back down again. Start to lift the hips, pushing through the ground, and then toe heel the feet back in once again to hip width apart. Inhale halfway. Now I'm going to give you an option for your flow to downward dog. So that could be just hands down, stepping back, downward dog. You could follow through with your half lift, placing the hands down and hopping. But please land in a low plank if you're going to hop back, flipping the feet, continuing with your back bend, and finding downward dog towards the end, meeting us here. Take an inhale as you lift the heels. Release the heels, exhale. Lift the heels in. Release, exhale. Lift the heels, come really high onto the toes, and then draw the knees down, edges of the mat. Bring the tops of the feet down, toes together, and bring yourself down to a forward fold. I'm going to pause here in our Balasana, our child's pose. So remember, this is our home, and we can always come back here. It's always an option. And once we've had our rest, let's slowly make our way back into a tabletop, tuck the toes, and find an upside down V shape, downward dog. Come high onto the toes, breath in, lift the heels, and release, breath out. High onto the toes, breath in, release, breath out. High onto the toes, breath in, and take that right foot up to the ceiling with you. Bring that knee to the right elbow as you exhale, and we're here for 2 breaths. So option to start to bend through those elbows and maybe find your arm balance, Kundalini. Bring the right foot down, take the right foot back up to the ceiling, breath in. and step it forward, top of the mat as you exhale. Both hands reach towards the ceiling, find your crescent lunge, and then take both hands down to frame that right foot as you exhale. Left hand plant, touch twist, take the right arm up in, and as you exhale, bring it down to the inside of that right foot. Drop the left heel, left hand reaches to the ceiling in, and exhale, draw it back down once again. Inhale, take it back up. Draw it in a circle to the back, and as you inhale, we're lifting it up, taking the body with us, but reversing and straightening through that right leg. Option to lift the right feet or toes, and as you exhale, windmill the arms back down, frame that right foot. Lift the back heel, step forward, halfway lift in, release, exhale. All the way to the ceiling with the hands, inhale, and straight back down as you exhale. Halfway lift in, and as you exhale, release down, toe heel the feet to about hip width if not already, and grab opposite elbows, find your rag doll. So either stay stationary here with your head hanging super heavy, or take a little bit of a sway, left, right, left, right. Release the hands or release the elbows, and we're going to come high onto the toes and then start to walk the hands over to the right hand side. Hopefully this doesn't mean you're away from me. Now you'll find that the feet are in front of each other, so take that right foot and step it all the way down about 2 shoulder widths to the right, so that you're in a wide-legged forward fold. Take a breath in, find a halfway lift, and as you exhale, release. One more like that, halfway lift in, release, exhale, and start to walk the hands over to the right foot. Slowly find the stretch as you find the right hamstring starts to speak to you. Walk the hands over to the left foot, talk to that left hamstring, and then slowly back to center. Now we've got about 5 breaths here. Option to widen the feet, so you come a little bit lower down to the ground. You can stay here or maybe just play with reaching for the ankles. You got an option to bring the hands underneath the body, palms facing up. Find a bit of stretch once again in that wide-legged forward fold. Option for an arm balance. If you're coming with me, placing the hands down about just wider than shoulder width, we're going to find tripod stand. Start to bend through the knees, and if you're low enough, bring the head down. We're bringing the crown of the head down, and this is where the weight shifts so that the hips are above your head, and we're going to gently lift the feet and find your tripod. If tripod's not within your practice, please play with this gently. Maybe even take it against the wall. And once you've spent a few breaths there, come gently down back to your wide-legged forward fold. And pause. I'll wait for you to catch up. I'm hoping you went upside down. Once you're here, take a breath in, halfway lift. And exhale, release. Start to toe heel the feet in so that they're about 2 shoulder widths apart. And then take them wide, take them at 45 degrees so that the heels are pointing in. Bend through the knees and lift yourself up all the way to the ceiling. Cactus through the arms, bend through the knees as you exhale, find goddess. Inhale, straighten everything, reach. And bend through, find goddess as you exhale. Inhale, reach. Goddess as you exhale. See if we can sit really nice and low and have the knees pointing out, not in. Pause here. Start to lift through your right heel and then reach for that banana to the right hand side. Grab the banana, drop the heel down, come back to center. Lift the left heel, reach to the left, grab the apple, take it back to you, bend through the arm, drop the left heel down. Lift the right heel, grab the banana once again, and bring it back. Drop the heel, lift the left heel, grab the apple, draw it back, and bring it back to center. Inhale, as you just stretch everything, become tall, and as you exhale, take the heels out so the feet are parallel and find a forward fold, bring the hands down. And start to slowly walk the hands over to the left side, to the left foot. And once you're there, step forward, top of the mat. Find a halfway lift in, and your flow to downward dog. So as you had the options before, I choose a low plank jump back, my back bend,
and a downward dog. Allow an inhale to lift the heels. Exhale, release. Lift the heels, breath in. And exhale, release. Lift the heels, take the left leg all the way up to the ceiling with you. And as you exhale, take it to the left elbow. Options here, as we did on the other side, Kundalini, bending through the elbows, maybe lifting that right foot. Taking the right foot down, taking the left foot back up to the ceiling in. And as you exhale, stepping it through. Crescent lunge, take both hands up to the ceiling. And bring them back down, frame that left foot as you exhale. Right hand plants, left hand reaches in. And bring it down to the inside of the left foot as you exhale. Drop the right heel. Inhale, take the right hand up. And bring it back down. Open it up once again, taking it up to the ceiling. Taking it in a circle to the back. And as you bring it forward, pushing through that left foot, find a reverse, straightening through the left leg and maybe lifting the left toes. And as you exhale, windmill the hands all the way back down, frame that left foot. Step forward to the top of the mat, halfway lift. And release on the exhale, find a forward fold. Toe heel the feet out to the edges of the mat. I'm going to turn to face you. However, you're facing the front. And we're going to drop the hips down once again to our Malasana, our yogic squat. Have the hands with the palms connected in front of you. And I'd like to invite you to not sit down in a dump, but otherwise sit a little bit higher, and this allows the spine to maybe come a bit higher and realign. Pause here, otherwise come with me to fly. Arm balance time. Place the hands down out in front of you. Have the index fingers parallel, and again the hands are slightly wider than shoulder width, slightly wider. And the problem with, the reason for that is, if you have your hands out in front of you, and you assume your shoulders are so wide, once you have your shoulders back, they become a little bit wider. So I always try and teach to have them a little bit wider than shoulder width. We're going to lean forward, and two options here. You can chaturanga your arms, however your knees are going to be on the outside of your triceps. And once you go over, they're going to stay there and utilize, I mean, this is okay, but you're going to be utilizing your hip flexors quite a bit in order, these muscles here, in order to tuck that knee in. So what I recommend is to bring the knees over and on top of the elbows, so that once you start to chaturanga the arms, you create a shelf and have your knees on that shelf. Your gaze comes just out in front of you, and you've got your crow. Pause here for 2. For 1. If you have a jump back, option to do that and flow through your last vinyasa. Otherwise, just walking the feet back, downward dog, and finding your upside down V shape. And just spend 1 breath just calming and once again finding this pose. Before 3 options to get down into a seat. So we can bring the knees down, switch the feet around, come to a seat, which is where I want you to be. Otherwise, you can bend through the elbows, bend through the knees, jump to the top, and then drop your sit bones. Once again, come to a seat. If you choose to be a bit more experimental, a little bit more flowy, bend through the elbows and the knees, and we're going to utilize all those little hops that we did to the top of the mat to float, cross the legs, sit down, and then uncross. So just utilizing the shoulders a little bit more to bring the weight forward. Once you've found your seat, 90 degrees with the legs, the feet are down flat onto the mat, arms are down at the side, and we're just going to lean back. So lean back and find that the weight shifts from the feet, and they become a little bit lighter, and they start to hover. Once you find that phenomenon, can you straighten through that right leg, keeping the left leg just hovering off the floor, engage or flex the toes of the right foot, and then just touch the floor with the heel. Bring it back up, draw the knee back in, have it hovering. Straighten through the left leg, engage the toes, touch the floor with the heel, bring it back up, draw the knee back in. Start to draw yourself a little bit lower so you're in kind of a low boat position. The feet are still just hovering off the floor. You're really engaging your core. And then straighten through the right leg. Have it really low. Engage the toes. Touch the floor. Bring it back up. Draw the knee in. Stretch the left leg out. Engage the toes. Drop the heel. Bring it back in. And draw the knee in. Now keep in mind that I'm teaching, talking, as well as doing it with you. So bear with me. We're going to now straighten through both legs. Can you keep them nice and low? Drop both heels, lift the heels, and draw the knees back in. And then come back to your back, draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a bit of a hug. Once you're here, either taking circles with the knees going around in one direction, or just swaying from side to side. If you're taking circles, change direction, go the other way. And come back to center. Start to widen through the knees. Take them out to a nice wide stance and grab the blades of the feet, finding happy baby. So here in our happy baby, we're trying to engage the back of the spine. So draw the tailbone down as low as we can and draw the knees onto each side of the chest. And just breathe here. Invitation to start to shut down the eyes as we switch gears and move into more yin postures. If you have started to swaddle or sway your baby, come to stationary. Start to release the right foot and straighten it up towards the ceiling. Bring your right hand to your chest, or if you want counterbalance, take it out to the right hand side, palm facing down. Start to move that leg out to the right hand side. Can you open out the hips, open up the inner thighs? And then start to bend through that leg once again. Draw the hand back up. Grab the blade of the foot. Release the left, stretch it up to the ceiling. Left hand comes down to the side. Take the left foot all the way down to the left hand side. Bend through the knee and draw it back. Grab the blade. Release the blades of the feet and straighten both legs up to the ceiling. Viparita Karani. And see here if we can pause with everything engaged so that we are straightening the legs up to the ceiling. The feet are flexed. Pause for 2. For 1. Now to the count of 5, because I don't know what 0 to 10 is quite yet in French, we're going to lower the legs down to the floor. So 5, start to slowly lower them down. 4, 3, 2, embrace the shakes. 1, and releasing them down to the mat. Nice. Take a little bit of a breather here, a little bit of a commercial break. While we're doing that, we're going to find Banana Asana. So we're going to take our feet over to the right hand side and take our arms over to the right hand side above our heads, maybe even grabbing the left wrist so you got a little bit more purchase. And with the feet, maybe taking the left on top of the right so the ankles are aligned. And keeping the hips equal on the mat, so we're not tilting over to one side, we're keeping ourselves nice and flat. Pause and breathe. It's nice to be on the back, isn't it? After standing. It's always nice to come here after practice and go into or move into more yin structures that allow us to catch our breath, our heartbeat to slow. Release the left hand, and we're going to move over to the other side, going to the left. So taking the feet over first, take the right on top of the left, and then take the arms over to the left hand side. Again, keep those hips level. Grab the right wrist if you need to, and create a nice banana, which is very bent. and slowly releasing, come back to a Shavasana-like pose, but then start to bend through the knees and bring them into like a tabletop position. Take the arms out to the sides with the palms facing down, and start to take the knees over to the right hand side. So we're finding a supine twist. You can choose to stay here. If it's not enough for you, you can bring your bottom foot and place the ankle on top of that left knee. Keep both knees or both feet engaged, and make sure that both shoulders are connected to the floor before you start to turn your head over to the left hand side. So this completes the twist. It's all the way through the spine. And the ankle over the knee is just an option. Start to release the right ankle off the knee if you have it, and bring your head back to center. Engage the core to gently bring the knees back into center and take them over to the left hand side. Once there, if you chose to use the interlace of the feet or the legs, do that once more so you just get a bit of equilibrium and balance. And lastly, start to turn the head once confirmed that both shoulders are connected to the floor. And starting with the head, slowly bring it back to center. Release the interlace of the feet. And once you've engaged your core, start to draw the knees back into center. I'm going to place one hand on each knee. Don't make it difficult for yourself by going opposite or crossing the arms. So have your right hand on your right knee, left hand on left knee. And then start to draw circles with the knees, but start with the knees moving in towards you, and then out, and back towards the back of the room, and then in towards you, out, and in. Start at the back, so move the knees back away from you, open out to each side, come back towards you, knees touch, and then move them back, open out, knees touch, out, open out, knees touch, and come back to center. Now have your right knee coming in towards you, left knee going away from you, and take them out in a half circle so they're going in the same direction, however they're starting different. Come back to center, start there, and then take the right knee in towards you, left knee goes away, come around and back. Right knee in towards you, left knee goes away, around and back. And then go the other way, so the left knee comes in towards you, right knee goes away, go around and back. Right knee goes away, left knee comes towards you, around and back. And just to challenge ourselves, can we have the knees going towards you initially, and then around in the same direction, going around all the way back to center? And then having them going away from you, around to either the left or right, coming back to center. So do that just once more, coming towards you, going around, coming back to center, and going away, around, going back to center. Nice. Release the knees with the hands, and we're just going to take 2 rotations, one with the right knee coming in towards you, left knee going away, going in a half circle in the same direction, coming back. And then one with the left knee going away, right knee coming in and around and back. Did you get that? Yes? Awesome if you did. Start to straighten out through the legs. Take them all the way up to the ceiling. And then bend through the knees and draw them down, the feet down to the floor. Open out the knees and bring the feet, the pads of the feet together. Finding Supta Baddha Konasana. Invitation to bring the right hand on the lower belly and the left hand on the chest or the heart center. And as you feel, or as you breathe, can you feel into the right hand the belly rising and falling? In your left hand, can you feel the heartbeat gently slowing down? You can choose to stay here if you are comfortable, peaceful, to move straight into your Shavasana. Otherwise, starting to straighten out through the legs and finding a more traditional Shavasana, having the arms at our sides, the palms are facing the ceiling. Allow the feet to flop open, the eyes are closed, and the whole body is relaxed. To aid that relaxation, let's start with the feet. Draw attention all the way down to the feet. Imagine how they're feeling. Imagine what shape they're in. Imagine they're relaxed. Draw your attention up through the ankles, the shins. Imagine how they feel. Imagine them relaxed. Taking the attention through the knees and the thighs. Imagine how they feel. Imagine them relaxed. Your attention up through the hips, the belly, the lower back, the upper back, the shoulders, moving down the arms, the hands, the fingers, moving back up the arms to the top of the chest, the neck, the head, the face. And as we've completed the body, starting to imagine it as one, or what it feels like, that it's relaxed. I'm going to leave you in your Shavasana, in your state of rest, for a couple of minutes. Please give yourself this time. Stay with me. I will let you know when it's time to get out. So not moving, trying to release control of the breath as it moves through you, and finding safety and comfort in your mat, wherever you are.
Just letting you know I'm still with you. The computer hasn't frozen. Start to make your breath a little bit longer as you take control once again. Bring your attention to your thumb and your first finger and draw them together so they touch. And then using your thumb, start to draw little circles along the top of the finger pad. Start to move to the next finger. And the next. Hopefully the last. As you move once again back through the fingers to the top, start to bring some movement into your neck. So moving the head gently from side to side. Start to move the toes and the feet. And then making those movements a little bit bigger, take your arms up above the head. As you stretch and become tall, revel in the moment before drawing the knees into the chest, curling up into a ball. Allow the knees to fall left or right. And then with the eyes closed, gently making your way into a seat facing me. Bring the palms to meet and draw them into the heart center once in a seat. Feeling that connection with the sternum, with the backs of your thumbs. With our hearts, we feel words of love and gratitude. Take the hands up to the lips. With our mouths, we speak words of love and gratitude. Lastly, taking the hands up to the forehead, a slight bow. With the mind, we think words of love and gratitude. The light in me sees, honors, and respects the very same light it sees in each and every one of you. Namaste. Placing the hands once again back on the thighs, opening and blinking out the eyes. Thank you for practicing with me today. I'm making time for your practice. Hopefully you lasted the full hour, and we'll see you soon. Ciao. Namaste.